New Year's video, take one. You guys want to see something cool? Uh, 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 uh. Jealous. And the shirt you've seen if you've watched the other videos. Shout out to my girlfriend. She created it from scratch with her bare hands. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Really quick video just for the holiday season this time. This is more of a PSA than an actual full analysis video that I normally do. The PSA is this. With all of the strange and complicated and convoluted things that happen in Megalopolis, it can be easy to forget that it's a Christmas movie. It's also a Hanukkah movie. It's also a Ramadan movie. But primarily, though, it's a New Year's movie. One of the guiding principles of Megalopolis' overall style is Coppola's fascination with the selective memory with which we analyze and understand our history. You can feel this tension throughout Megalopolis between what a character symbolizes within the scope of history and who the character really is. For example, Caesar is seen as the savior of humanity and this great philosopher king in the same vein as Marcus Aurelius, but at a more personal level, he is greedy, egotistical, and selfish, much like his other historical counterparts, which are Robert Moses and Lucius Sergius Catilina. Another example is Cicero, who is hated by the general public because he represents the status quo, but at a personal level, he is thoughtful, compassionate, and understanding, almost to a fault. Wow is seen as this socialite seductress who uses her sexuality to climb the social ladder, but in truth, she's a brilliant Machiavellian with great ambitions, very much in the same vein as her historical counterpart, Cleopatra.
You know, just like with Cleopatra, I mean, Augustus writes the history and made Cleopatra be this sexy seductress, but in truth, Cleopatra was a genius, but she doesn't get credit for it because no one on her side, wrote the history.
Coppola's interest in understanding history for what it really was is not just out of curiosity, though, but out of a hope that understanding history would better prepare us for the future. This is another source of tension in Megalopolis' themes, the weight of the past versus the promise of the future. Even just the name of the city within which the movie takes place, New Rome, reveals this tension. Throughout Megalopolis, ancient phrases are placed into modern contexts.
He destroys innocence, loveliness, and asks them what Pygmalion asks a marble.
The fashion of old Rome is combined with modern sensibilities, and the influence of ancient architecture in today's buildings is celebrated in many shots. Within all of these strange combinations that appear is the constant question of what from the past is worth keeping and what should be left behind. Near the climax of the movie, just after Julia and Caesar get married, we are given a montage depicting the celebration of Saturnalia. Saturnalia was a festival in ancient Rome that went for many days, during which every person was made equal and given the chance to celebrate, including slaves. People would dress up and dance, make music, and drink. With the editing of this montage, Coppola draws the comparison between Saturnalia and modern celebrations of Abrahamic religions. We see bits of people celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, and Ramadan. I think it's Ramadan. I don't know, though. I'm not sure. I'm a little ignorant. Please let me know what it really is, if I got that wrong. And as far as this montage is concerned, these are all beautiful communal traditions that should be celebrated. Within this section of the montage, Coppola brings us into the past, unites it with the present, and inspires us to continue these traditions into the future. But then, there's a change of tone in the montage as we begin to watch Claudio and Wow commit a hostile takeover of Crassus's bank.
Okay, gentlemen, deliver.
This is an inside takeover. Begin.
Where the first part of the Saturnalia montage highlighted community, freedom, and equality, the second part of the montage highlights the inequality between classes. We see these golden rooms with these golden people contrasted with an impoverished celebration centered around an old Elvis impersonator singing the United States national anthem.
As for celebration, now get the fuck out of my car.
This tacky Elvis impersonator symbolizes the old traditions that have already had their time and now only really serve to distract us. To punctuate this idea, if we look closely at this shot of Wow, we can see a hunting scene, which is a painting by Renaissance painter Piero di Cosimo. This painting is based on an ancient Roman poem by Lucretius, in which he gives us his imagined image of early humans. This painting shows humanity in a miserable state. Humans battle with each other, with animals, and with mythological creatures. And there's fire in the background to show the chaos and destruction of what early humanity was like. While this portrayal of early humanity isn't totally accurate, within this montage, it symbolizes the ways of life from humanity's past that we don't want to repeat. More specifically, this montage uses this symbol to critique the separation between classes and the bureaucracy of the United States. Once again, within the montage, Coppola unites the past and the present, but this time as a warning. He's using these things as examples of what we should not bring into the future. A few more things happen before the end of the movie. Claudio's mob takes over New Rome. We see him here next to the Betsy Ross flag, which symbolizes the United States' less than favorable past. Wow is killed by Crassus, who decides to give all his money to Megalopolis, and Claudio is strung up by his mob. And when Crassus decides to give all his money to Megalopolis, it is specifically to manipulate how he will be remembered by history.
Revoke the contingency clause. I'm going to leave the patents to Megalon, the bank, and my entire fortune, to Caesar's Garden of Eden, to Megalopolis.
He knows that the end of his life is coming. He knows that future generations could see him as being a greedy man. And so he decides that the best course of action to take in order to be loved by future generations is to give all his money to Megalopolis, because he'll be known as being very generous.
I'll be known as Crassus the Generous, loved for eternity.
And finally, on New Year's Eve, Cicero decides to put his trust in Julia and stand alongside Caesar.
Darling.
If we say that Cicero represented the status quo of the past and Caesar represents the possibilities of the future, then this moment is where the main tension of the movie is resolved. There are many ways to interpret the ending of Megalopolis, but one of my favorites comes from this general theme that the way we choose to view history determines our future. The specifics of these characters and their journeys fall to the side as we are asked to view them solely based on the best parts of what they symbolize. The ending of Megalopolis asks us to take only the best parts of our history with us into the future. It's no longer about these specific, flawed characters, it's about their ideas, their ideals, their hopes, and their desire for a better world. But more than any of them, it's about the perfect potential of this baby, and the lessons that it has to learn from the history of the world around it. The characters count down to midnight as the previous year ends, and Julia stops time just before the new year begins.
Stop time.
Now, time, stop.
Everything stops except for the baby, who is caught right between the past and the future. Throughout the movie, Caesar's and later Julia's ability to stop time represents their ability to separate themselves from the flow of history and view things in a more objective and artistic way. With the movie ending like this, with the baby being given this same ability and the rest of the characters frozen in time and in history, the audience joins the baby in this perfect potential, and we are invited to view the new year as a clean slate, one where we can learn together, grow together, and celebrate together, and rewatch Megalopolis together. I couldn't come up with a better ending to this video than that. Sorry, I got lazy. Happy New Year!
My dream is that this movie, every Thanksgiving, people are going to see, every New Year's, people are going to see Megalopolis. And at the end of seeing it, instead of after saying, well, I've decided I'm giving up smoking, or I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to behave better, and blah, I want them instead to say, is the society where we're living in the only one available to us, and what can we do to make it better? And every Thanksgiving, that's going to be the conversation. And that would be utopia, because if we had that conversation, we would make it wonderful.